everyone, it's Sierra, Onyx's daughter, and today we've got Ms. Bhimi Case teaching us about handling objections, so make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Enjoy!
So this is really important in our business and even in life because objections are happening all the time, right? Does anybody not have experienced objections in their business? I'm sure nobody has. So
we all do. Business, kids, pick something.
yes, objections are everywhere. And so Onyx and I are going to name some objections and how to handle it. And her wisdom is going to come into, I kind of set up a format. And then at the end, if there are any questions, then we can look at other things or, you know, if you make comments, whatever you'd like to do. So first of all, what are objections? You know, to really understand where is somebody coming from when they're objecting. So objections are really opinions that are disguised under the layers of beliefs. So people have all these beliefs and you're coming and talking to them and presenting something brand new, and it's going to be outside their box, right? Because LifeWave is outside most people's boxes. We're very, you know, futuristic. We're different. Everything about what we're offering is not the norm. It's not like another shake or vitamin or something like that. So we're pushing the boundaries. So the mind loves to object because it doesn't really understand it. So dealing with objections is really part of our human experience anyway. So learning how to communicate in an effective, open-minded, responsive, calm, neutral manner is really what leaders and teachers and influencers do. And this is something that I've learned. I'm not always 100% neutral because sometimes we get triggered, right? And so these are things that we as leaders have to look at and watch in ourselves. So an objection is any statement that's given in opposition to what you're saying. And it can show up in a couple of different ways, like people are expressing concern about it, or a lot of people are doubting, right, or skeptical.
Let's
or
get
they
to the
really just
descriptions and dictionary quotes.
And I don't know, and or they could be asking for more facts. So the important thing here is to pick up on the tone, because people will have a tone when they're objecting, which can range from, you know, just being kind of neutral to being a little bit dismayed or even amusing or distrusting or sarcasm or cynicism or contempt or irritation or even doubting our sanity, right? Because we're talking about something that's a little bit out there. So it's important to tune in, because when we're going to come back and talk to them, we're really answering on many different levels. And they may or may not be aware of what all is coming through, but our job, or at least what I feel, is to really take in what's coming and to handle it in the best way possible. So it's really, objections can help people feel empowered, because if they have something that they're not sure about and you can come back and help them to understand, then they feel empowered, right? And when somebody feels empowered, they're able to make better choices. So the best thing that I say is get comfortable with objections, because it's part of what happens in this business. And also that to know that it's not personal. It's never about you. It's really about them. And again, it's their beliefs that are underlying whatever their opinion is. So I'm going to go through some things and then kind of our role as leaders when we're listening to objections, and then we're going to go into some specific objections. So active listening, and some of this is not going to be new to you guys. I mean, you're doing it anyway, but I'm kind of bringing it into a format. I have made a document on it. I got that ready, so I'll send it to Sheila. She can post it and it'll be easier. So a lot of what I'm saying will be on that. So active listening is like what I just talked about, tuning in and not thinking about what you're going to say so much and not getting caught up in inner dialogue and noise, because you want to really be clear and hear what they're saying. Because then what you want to do is to restate out loud what they said. You want to paraphrase it to show them that you understand what their objection is, or maybe you don't understand what their objection is. So you could say something like, just to be clear and that we're on the same page, is this correct? And then you restate it. Because the worst thing is if you're coming back and you don't understand it, or you're missing the point, then they don't feel heard, and then you're not connecting. And it's all about connecting and creating relationship. So responding in a way that validates their concerns. So you're confirming again what it is that they have said to you. And then here's a very important thing you can say. You can respond like, if I'm able to overcome or offer some perspectives about your objections, would you be ready to move forward? Because here's a qualifier. And this is very subtle, but it's like, are you wasting your time or not? Will somebody answer you with an honest response with that? Because if you can, and I'm sure you've had this happen to you before when you've been talking to people, maybe going to buy a car or something, and they say, if I can handle your objections, are you ready to move forward? So it gives a clarity to the situation. It brings them more present, and it gives you the opportunity to offer them solutions. And of course, we're going to respond very sincerely. So you want to find out their needs. Obviously, we want to find out about their health. And this is in the conversation that we have when we're, talking to them, how's your life going? What are you doing? How are you feeling? How's your job? How's your business? You can ask them, what their goals are, or their purpose. It depends on what level of conversation you are with them. Because what we're doing when we're going to work with their objections is we're not going to be insisting on anything. Because if we are trying to insist to counter their objections, then they're going to go into resisting. So insisting creates resisting. So you want to help them make a choice. So is all that clear that I just said? Is there any thought, or I'll just take a pause?
I think that's absolutely beautiful and very, very well said. One of the things that I heard is don't take things personal. And, frankly, this takes you right back to Michael Singer's work about, what are you hearing in other people and how is your system processing what's being said? I love what Marcy said on the training. I don't know what it was when she did the presidential training and she spoke about her favorite book. And she said it was the 4 agreements. And the thing that because it reminded me of the book, and the thing that I loved about that was never make assumptions. And so often we human beings, as Anthony Robbins would say, we're meaning making machines. And so they say, I don't like, whatever, the sunlight. And we think that means they don't like us. We're so funny at how we are as humans. So I loved what Bhimi said in regards to that. And I also loved about get used to it. Objections are part of life. And we're all dealing with objections in every part of our lives. And frankly, we're objecting to other people constantly as well, as we move through our own process of how to get from an objection to a yes. So that was beautiful. Bhimi, I don't know if anybody else has anything to say.
Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to move into, go ahead, Carol.
Carol. You have to unmute, Carol.
Thanks. Well, you know what, you may be going to say what I was going to say, so maybe I should let you be the sayer of it. And I can make a comment maybe at the end. I just a little phrase that I use, would that be useful?
Sure.
Okay. So I welcome objections because I want to know where people are at, and so that's just part of how we connect. And something that I always use, or that I use a lot, is, are you open? Are you open to knowing a little bit more? Because I think what I've experienced and what I know is fairly different from what you're sensing or what you may have experienced in the past, or what. So, are you open to, to knowing a little bit more?
Well, I think, yes, thank you for that. And that's a good question. And I think some of this will be covered. So it's probably good to wait, and then we can see what will be left. But I like that statement because it puts it back on them. Thank you, Carol. Okay, so the point of handling objections is to not react, and to come from feeling and felt and found. Those are words that we like to talk about when we're handling. So one of the objections that we'll start with is, I don't like affiliate, network, direct sales, multi-level marketing. Raise your hand if you have heard that. Okay, so one of the ways, and I put together some answers for all of these, but of course there's more than one way to do this. So when that comes to me, I say, what don't you like about it? And I really listen to their story. And we've heard some of this in some of our trainings with Onyx as well. So we listen to what they're saying about, their story, because usually they've heard something from somebody, or maybe they had a bad experience in network marketing, but let them completely spill out whatever horror story they believe or have seen or heard about or imagined. And then we say, yes, that's not this. That is not what LifeWave is about. Network marketing, and this is conversations that I have. So I say network marketing is one of the most successful and cost-effective entrepreneurial ventures in the world. It's trillions of dollars. It's an industry that is just booming, there's so many things about it that I really like, because I'm a very independent person. I like that you're your own boss. You create your own time commitment. You become a leader of your own team, and you set up residual income. To me, it's a win-win, because the only way to be successful is to help others. Do you like that? So that's a conversation that gives them value, opens up perspective for them to see what some of the important benefits are. And then sometimes I go further. It depends if it's really a business type person. I'll go, Well, this is really a form of compassionate capitalism, because I'll come in more from a business perspective, where people are helping other people rather than the traditional win-lose model in corporate business. You know, in purchasing products, usually somebody's taking a cut or a share anyway. I used to be in product marketing. You have distributors, you have master distributors, you have reps. There's so many different people. So it's just like sharing, except that you get a piece rather than all these middle people. And you know how it is when you go to a movie or a restaurant, you want to tell people about it when you really enjoy it. And so that's how I understand network marketing. And believe me, there are so many people out there these days that are looking to generate extra income. And you have a solution here that's not only health, but it's wealth. So that's how some of the ideas that I frame with that. And Onyx, would you like to say anything in that for that one?
I'm perfect, Bhimi. Just keep going. You're doing great.
Okay. Another objection. I don't have time for this. Have you heard that? Yes. So your role really is to be a connector. And this works in the nooks and crannies. I take this from Onyx, the nooks and crannies of your life. So if you're looking for something to help you to create extra income, it's not like you have to go to a job or, you know, put in a certain amount of time. You're more like a connector. You're going to ask a few questions. You're going to share your results. You're going to send out a link and invite somebody to a testimonial. You have tremendous support and with your upline and your sponsors, so you could get help until you feel like you could put more time into it. You know, I thought that too at first, but that's actually one of the reasons I decided to do it. So right here, this kind of creates a mind stop, because they don't have time. And I said, I don't have time, but that's why I did it. So what does that mean? That means that if you don't have enough time in your life, when are you ever going to have enough time in your life? And so I may say, you know, I know it's so overwhelming. Life is so busy. But you know what? I found that really successful people leverage their time, and they always have multiple systems of multiple streams of income. So that's a concept to put out that I like when people don't have time. And I might say, well, you know, you're working dollars for hours. Where are you going to be in 5 years? You know, what are you looking at in the future? It depends on the conversation. You know, I saw the writing on the wall. You know, I wanted to do something not the way I've been doing it in the past 20 years. So I'm relating to their situation. This wasn't my experience, but if I know they've been working for a company or doing something, then I will bring that in to show them, to kind of wake people up, because a lot of people are just lulled and they're just trying to get by, you know, month to month, and not really looking at how to create that extra revenue. So, you know, I'll talk about, we have tools, and again, leveraging their time, and that they have the support, and kind of opening the blinders to show them that if they could carve out maybe an hour or 2 or 3 a week, we could get this going. And Onyx, again, that's objection 2. Would you like to say anything?
Bhimi, I just threw out in the chat another good question to ask people based on exactly what you were just talking about, that objection about I don't have time.
Okay.
What would life look like if you did have the time to bring forth another income? Make them go into their future and think, what would my life look like? And then hit with that next step that you just did. So just another thing to throw out for people.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you. I like that. I'll put that into the training piece. Okay, number 3. Is this a pyramid scheme? Have we had that? Raise your hand. Okay, again, what do you mean by a pyramid scheme? Ask them to clarify what they mean. And ask them if they're familiar with affiliate marketing. And you want to really listen to their response, because people have had these, disturbances. They've had bad experiences. They've heard from friends, whatever it is. But this is so not a pyramid scheme. And so I've had to re-educate people. I said, a pyramid structure is really what corporate America is like. If you take General Motors or Exxon or whoever's the CEO, they're at the top, and then they have top officers and they make the most money. And then everyone else, guess what, is living paycheck to paycheck. They're at the bottom of the heap. And, however you want to label that, that is a pyramid. And in most businesses, most of the percentage of dollars can go in between to brokers and reps and things like that. So those are also pyramids. But what really network marketing is, it's sharing and helping other people. And you can come in anytime and you are at the top of the heap because you're at the top of your business. You are your leader. It doesn't matter if somebody's been in 2 years. You can come in, people. There are millions of people in the world. This is a product that has no boundaries really. And, the world is your oyster. So what do you think? Is this really a pyramid? And so it will break the structure that they thought. And yes, let me see if there was anything else. Yes, that's all I had to say about that. Okay, going to the next one. And I've heard this, and I find this to be very funny. I don't know enough people. I don't know enough people. So, or I've been through so many people, I don't have anybody else to talk to. I find that, to be a block, because how many people, and we've heard this before, how many people are in your phone? How many people are in your social media? How many friends of friends do you have? And then I ask, how many people do you think you really need? Because people can be under the wrong impression. And I like to make this clear. And they may say, oh, I need, 50, I'll probably need to, and of course we know it's the numbers and not everybody jumps and stays at the same level. But I can tell you, and what Peter has said, and Onyx and most leaders, is that you only really need 3 to 5 good, strong network builders, the people that get it and go with it. And most of the time, the top people only have 2 or 3 people. Well, Onyx is different. She's got a lot. But most of us don't have Onyxes in our group, but we have strong people that are building, and you don't need 20 people to get to the top and to make a good income. And for people to make anywhere between, say, 800 or 1,500 a month, it's not difficult. So I ask people, would 1,000 or 1,500 be a good extra income for you if you could find maybe 5 to 10 people who you'd like to share with? And out of that, you'll find a couple people that could really help you build your business. That's a low level. That is not coming up into the higher incomes. But once that gets going, it's like the wave, the dam is going to explode, because we've seen that if we keep doing the system, then the system keeps building the business. So, and then I'll say, look, let's build your story. Let's get you some results, and let's try this for 60 days. Now, if this is somebody who is more resistant, and I'll say, let's give it our best shot. And if after 60 days you don't see results, or you're not able to make this business work for you, then let's, we can look at that. So I give an option and a plan so that they can try something, so that they're not just going to, let go. Okay, the next objection, and this was similar to one of the other ones. This is only good if you get in at the top, at the beginning. And so I asked them, well, who did you hear that from? And, they'll tell me their story, and I'll say again, I'm going to repeat a few of the things that I had said before, is that really 80 to 90% of the income is made from a couple top earners. And then you have a lot of people that are just working at a medium speed and doing it however they like, but people keep telling people, and your business is very solid because the product works. So you don't need to be at the top. Again, you are the top of your sponsorship, of your line of people. And I can show you how you could build a team and easily make, a few $1,000s a month. And I have a plan that I will lay out for them, which is similar to how we work our 3-3-1, and show them what they need to do on a weekly basis to get to where they want to go. Because if I can lay out a plan, and if they agree to that or some part of that, then they have a structure. And I say, look, I'm at the top of my organization, and I came in not in the beginning. So it works no matter where you come in. Okay, the next, and we're just moving through these. I want to get through and give you some time to ask questions.
Please, because we have a bunch we're stacking them up for you.
Okay. The next one is, I can't sell. I'm not a salesperson, right? Oh my goodness. So many people say that. And I go, I understand how you feel. No one likes to think of themselves as a salesperson. I love sharing and I like sales, but I say this, that I know many people felt that way too, because most people, and I hear it all the time, oh, I can't sell, I'm not like that. But I found, and you're probably the same kind of person, that you love to share. You love to share what's important to you, what really makes a difference, what's of value to you. And that's what makes you successful. And I really look at this like I'm helping people. I'm helping them to transform into a healthy, more vital life. Because here I am showing a value. One of my values, and pretty much other people's values who have friends and family, is that you want to help them transform. So I'm anchoring that as my value because it is totally important for me. And another thing that's important to me is that I'm sharing something that allows anyone to build financial freedom. And who couldn't use another revenue stream? All successful people that I know have more than one income stream. So I am making sense to them in answering their objections of why they're not a salesperson. They don't have to be, they can just share. People share, unless you're a total recluse in the closet, you share. And what basically I say, I use the X39 patch every day. I tell others about its benefits, and I show people the power of doing the same thing and how to build a network. What I'm doing is creating value in another person's life. So I'll say, let me do this. Set aside your assumptions and what you've thought about in the past. I'd like to invite you to a 30-minute call where you will hear directly from people who are using the patch. You'll get a brief overview of the company, and you'll see why I'm so passionate, and so many other people are, about this new technology. So that's how I handle that. The next one, and we're almost done, is, this is a good one. I need to think it over. I need to think it over. Okay, so here's what I say. Of course, you want to agree. I understand that. And I often need to think before I make a decision. Let me help. You're offering something out. Let me help you. Is it the product that you're not sure about? Is it the company? Is it the opportunity? You want to find out where they're kind of sliding in their mind. You want to focus them, because they can be very vague. If they're putting you off, that's one thing. But if they're really not sure, you want to find out what they need. Then I say, I can send you some information that will help you with your decision. Everything that I say like that has a purpose because it's bringing them to be more clear and focused. You don't want to try to oversell or convince. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to drip on them and invite them to the podcast. Okay. And the last one is, it's too expensive. It's too expensive. I know we've all heard these things. So this can be a multi-layered objection. And what we want to do is work to uncover the real reasons behind the statement. Now, if somebody's on a very limited income, that's very valid. But sometimes people are just going to say that because they do. They just, it's an excuse, an objection. So once that's stated, one of the things you can do is just pause for a second or a few seconds and see if they bring forth any other information. And if they don't say anything, here are some things that I say that I found to be very effective. You can ask, oh, it's expensive compared to what? Because what are they making a comparison to? That's something that's really riveting and brings a really good answer forward. And then I'll say another angle could be, if you could find relief from whatever it is they told you, what is the value of that to you? Again, you're instilling value for them. What is a value of getting rid of pain that has been there in your back for years? What is the value of being able to walk and without pain? You know, all these things. And then I'll say, is it worth, and this is from Peter, is it worth the cost of a cup of coffee a day? So I'm taking them down a pathway. Expensive compared to what? If you could find relief, what's the value? Is it worth? What is the worth to them? Cost of a cup of coffee. And then I close with, actually, there's no risk because you have a money back guarantee So what do you have to lose? Why not try it? So you're creating the value of the product, what's in it for them, and you can override that price concern, because once they get on it, even if they just come in as a customer, which is not just, but a customer is a good way as well, then let them get that experience. Then they will find the money. Trust me, people who find relief and have solutions find a way to find the money, and they'll be sharing it anyway. So I think that concludes everything that I wanted to say. I really wanted to just put out some understandings and perspectives of how we can address some of these things that come at us. And this is really important for new people that we bring into our business, our teams, because we who are a little more seasoned and been in it, we've been hearing this, but a lot of new people, they go out and they tell their friends and family and they get these objections and they're like, they don't know. So take these and, you can share it with your team. So that is my presentation.
Bhimi, that was amazing. And one of the things that really is important for people to understand that you brought up and you said it, I'm not sure if you know the importance of this, is most people, when you say that to other people, they go, well, I want to be most people. Okay. Most people like to share their story. Most people want to have security and income, whatever you want to throw in there. When you say most people, in the part of the subconscious mind literally says, I want to do that too. So thank you for pointing that out, Bhimi. Thank you very much. We have some questions. First up for you is, I hope I say it right, Jeannie, maybe it's Jenny Mullins, and then Sandy has a question for you. And you need to unmute your mic for us, and then you can ask. Are you there, Jenny? Okay, we're going to slide over to Sandy. And if, oh, there she is. I see your hand raised. So unmute your mic, doll.
Sorry, I forgot to bring my hand down.
That's okay.
Bye.
Okay, she didn't have a question.
All right, Sandy, you're up. I got to unmute, Dolly.
Bhimi, what a fantastic job you did. And I took notes, and here's where my brain went with this. You talked about 8 different things, and I thought of them in 2 categories. One was personal objections. I don't have time. I don't know enough people. I can't sell. I need to think it over. It's too expensive. What I wanted to revisit with you are the other 3 that are the objections that have to do with the business or let's let in Karen. The business or what I consider more outside considerations, not your own stuff that you're dealing with. So the first one that you said was fantastic. I don't want anything to do with a MLM, right? The one that I want to talk about, you said, I don't want anything to do with an MLM. Is this a pyramid scheme? And it's only good if you start at the top, those 3. I wanted to share with you, Bhimi, what I say on the pyramid scheme. Where you went on that objection was, well, corporate America is a pyramid. I want to share with you how I handle it, because maybe I've been around the block a long time, but I kind of remember when the original pyramid scheme started. I think I was like 19 years old. And what happened was everybody was supposed to put in $500, and then you met 2 people to put in another $500, and on and on and on. The problem with the pyramid scheme was at the bottom, somebody was left holding the bag. So you were getting your money back, but at the bottom of the pyramid, basically you were screwing people over at the bottom. So that's where the pyramid scheme got that reputation. And so I say to people, based on my integrity, I would never do anything where I knew I was intentionally screwing people over. So anyway, that's where I go with that. I like your corporate America analogy, but I just thought I'd put that out.
No, and that's a lot of a lot of people do have that experience. Not everybody is familiar with we called it the airplane. You get on the airplane with a ticket and you're putting in 500, 1,000, 5,000, or gifting circles. So those are two of the popular pyramid schemes. And yes, you can certainly add that in for sure.
Thank you, Bhimi. This was great.
Thank you, Sandy. Well, this has really been amazing. And before